Yo.
We are live.
Welcome back. This is Monday Cinema Club. How y'all doing out there? How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Okay, it's Monday Cinema Club. I'm Dante Bosco. This is Alice Ramatula.
Hi guys, my name is Alice Ramatula, and welcome to Monday Cinema Club for all the Chinese fans. Hi, 大家好，欢迎来到我们的电影俱乐部。For my Uyghur fans, yaxşımızlar bizden kino klubumuzga kelganlarga qarshi olamiz. For everybody, what's up, y'all?
What's going on? I'm sorry.
What's going on? Happy Monday Cinema Club. Welcome to our Monday Cinema Club. So if you're first time in this club, it is, let me give you guys a little bit of the introduction. This is a Monday Cinema Club. It's basically just like a book club. You watch the movie ahead of the time, and then every Monday 3 p.m. we're just gonna discuss the movie.
There we go.
Share I can't even talk.
Share what? What are we sharing?
Share our experience. I just bit by a mosquito. So that's why.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Shout out to RJ, Weeby, Mats, Josie Draws 13. How y'all doing? It's Tex. What's going on? It's Tex.
What's going on?
You saw my brother in the Super Bowl commercial. Yeah, Dion Bosco was in. Dionisio was in that Super Bowl commercial.
Isn't it good?
And Anheuser-Busch. It was really good. It was a David Fincher commercial, so that was like super top notch. And he talking about a date. He ain't got no dates. Dion ain't got no dates. COVID. He ain't dating nobody in COVID.
Is he have dates?
Victoria Rad, what's
you
up?
You never know.
Smallest Lanes, Paolo, Honey, how you doing? Angela,
how
AVG.
You guys doing?
So this is Monday Cinema Club, and so for you guys just join us, Calvatrine's in the house. What's up?
What's up?
Calvatrine's in the house in Arkansas. What's up? So thank you guys for joining us. This is our weekly, book club.
It's become a thing now.
It's our movie club. We just talk about movies.
Movie club.
We've been watching about so many movies during this pandemic situation where everyone's safe and sound out there.
Mm-hmm.
And we decided, since we're filmmakers, to just talk about movies with you.
Exactly.
We're in the middle of February, which is Black History Month. We did The Color Purple last week, which was really powerful. And it was so dramatic. We decided we'd do something funny this week.
And
it kind of stays in line with Black History Month because
absolutely,
this is Blazing Saddles.
Blazing Saddles.
Yeah.
It is. It's of course it's a Black History Month, so it's kind of related to.
Yeah, but it's a crazy movie. I mean, this movie. You ready to get into this movie? This movie, there's a lot to talk about in this movie. I don't know how many people out there saw this movie, but
I'm not sure.
Yo, this movie's crazy.
It is weird at the same time.
I love this movie. I mean, I remember watching this, one of the films we used to watch growing up. It's a all-time classic comedy film, satire, way out there. It was produced in
1974.
1974. It came out in 1974.
Directed by Mel Brooks.
Directed by the great Mel Brooks, and I've been a fan of his. Blazing Saddles, History of the World. So many films, and films he did with Gene Wilder also, who's also starring the film. And also an actor named Cleavon Little, who was amazing in the film. And I had to do some research because I think he passed away young. And so when you watch the film, you feel like this guy's going to be like, an Eddie Murphy or like Chris Tucker or you name, one of these big time comedic actors. And before all them, actually, because it's 74. But I think he passed away early. I'm going to do a little research as we do this situation. But he was so good in the movie. And was amazing. And
interesting, this is a Western comedy film, and then seems like this is R-rated film. It's like comedy at the same time, like Western comedy and Black History, and R-rated, and awarded for Writers Guild of America Award for Best Original Comedy.
It's definitely original.
Well, I mean, it's a quirky comedy. It's definitely, here it is. That's the mosquito I got bit by.
Where?
Right there.
We're doing a show right now.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Don't worry about the mosquito.
You
got sweet blood. No, there's so many jokes in there that they refer to other films because Mel Brooks is such a film legend, and so he's referring to so many other movies, especially Western films. In the being this is the 70s, he's referring to like films from the 50s and 60s, and then there's certain jokes that happen in the film that even people talk about today that never seen the film, and it's kind of crazy how that kind of becomes part of the the zeitgeist.
It's a Western the film set up in like 1970s, but it somehow like ended the film like they ended up in the Burbank studio of Warner Brothers next door school.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm in that film. Like we walk that street every single day. That gate. I think it's the gate 5.
And then it ends up at the Chinese Man Theater.
And the Chinese Man
Theater. Which is crazy on Hollywood Boulevard.
Yes, and it's like literally like in front of our school, like New York Film Academy. And then I feel like, damn, this is a street I'll walk around every day.
It's kind of cool to watch movies, and you know, we're in the industry, and so many times you like feel like you're on the outside looking in, but then certain times you watch films, and you feel like, oh, I'm a part of that thing, the business, I filmed on that studio, I shot in front of the Chinese Man Theater. I mean, we go to movies at Chinese Man's also, but
used to.
Now it's TCL Man's Theater. They're owned by Chinese, though, still Chinese to a degree.
Yeah.
But I shot a pilot stealing a car in front of the Chinese Man Theater back in the day, so it's kind of cool to feel like you're a part of, you know, Hollywood in that sense. Mm-hmm. But this film is so fucking crazy.
So do you want to talk about the film? What is this film about, Dante Bosco?
What is this film about? This film is a satire. It takes place in the 1850s, about 1840s, and you know, this is 70s, so 70s is a very politicized time, not unlike our time is now, and they really went through this film, and they got, you know, they really talked about a lot of the issues through comedy, through broad comedy, through using the N-word throughout the whole thing, through the race clashes. The crux of the film is through a land robbing baron wanting to steal land because of a railroad going through this old western town. He's trying to get all the people out there so he can get the land for cheap or steal the land, a land robber. And but he's a politic. He's all about how messed up they talk about how messed up politicians are in the politics of that day, and corrupt and dumb, and what they're doing, which is not unlike things today, you know. And so to get the people out, the politician guy has a great plan. It's like, let's give them a black sheriff. And then the hilarity ensues and just craziness starts to happen, and you get to see this tour de force role of Cleavon Little playing Sheriff Bart, and crazy film. Do you want to add anything about that?
I liked it. Yes, that's the top of that, and then we're talking about the story, right?
Talk about whatever you want to talk about.
What do we talk about? Is that my show?
It's your show. Rock with it. Lean with it. Rock with it. Lean with it. Rock with it. Thank you for reading my book, Josie. Keep going.
And then, that's basically a story about that. But one of the things really miracle and eye-opening is two different group of people in black and white. The whole goal is save this town from this evil politics. So politicians, so they put up their differences on side, and then, you know what, let's come together and save this town.
Yeah, but they make a lot of commentary.
Yeah, they make a lot of commentary at the same time.
Happy birthday, Lainey.
They trying to happy birthday. They try to
come in as we're going.
They try to negotiate, we're not gonna work with this and words. They just said it very That's
one of my favorite scenes. There's so many favorite moments in the movie. One of my favorite scenes I was cracking up when we were watching is when they send they're gonna meet their sheriff for the first time. They know he's black, and they're setting up a whole welcome thing, and he kind of comes up on his horse, and his horse has Gucci bags. Crazy stuff. You're like, damn, they got him rocking Gucci back in the 70s.
It's a super quirky film.
And they roll up, and all these westerns
No, the funny thing is when he shows up, the one of the guy, he's standing on the roof and he's looking at that.
The drunk miner guy. Mumbling miner.
He's like, here's a bag, and then everything that the rain start to.
What I love about this movie is it's so wrong. These are jokes that you can't say these days.
Nowadays, you can't make this movie.
You can't not make this movie.
Oh my god!
Are you okay?
No, there's a giant mosquito.
He's not coming to get you. We'd see it. I'd see it in the screen if he was coming to get you.
No, you can't.
I see it.
Okay.
She's just itchy now. She's just itchy.
No, it's a giant mosquito.
And so there's so many crazy stuff that go on in the movie that you can't say today, and it's so funny. But the fact that they're saying and doing it, and they're making fun of the situation, how
dumb those people.
Dumb all of us are to each other. Another one of my favorite moments for the people that haven't seen the movie. The top of the movie. You know, the Westerners that are kind of like the white guys that are like kind of running the railroad thing, and they become the villains in the movie. But they're telling the black workers, and I guess Chinese workers and
there's Asian workers too.
in there, and they're like, but they're telling the black workers.
What's up with the Chinese people over there? Like,
Chinese people always work on the railroads. That was the whole thing.
Working in the railroads, like, what the hell? What are you doing?
But these guys were telling the black guys to sing us a song.
Yeah.
They're like, sing us a song, and they wanted to sing like some like Negro
working.
spiritual or like Swing Low, Sweet Chariot, and then Cleavon Little turns around and he sings like that Sinatra song. I get a kick at it. Kick at it. Because I get no dip from champagne.
Yeah.
And they're all doing this whole like Sinatra thing. It's freaking hilarious.
It is hilarious. One of my favorite scenes is which one is it?
Which one is it, Alice?
Which one is it?
Which one is it?
The favorite scene is I don't want to say that. That's a little weird. So
which one?
Well, that's my favorite. That's the favorite moment too. And then one of the things is like, oh my god, I forgot it. I don't know. Let's move on.
Okay, well, I'm sure we have more to
tell you,
discuss. So before we bring the person in, we're just going to give a shout out. Of course, Mel Brooks directed it. He's in the film. He plays several characters. The governor, the Indian chief, which is funny. He plays an Indian chief as a Jewish guy speaking Yiddish, but giving the black people pass because they're like,
that's why, like, I was about to say my favorite scene. I'm sorry for the interrupt. My favorite scene is the Mel Brooks, the director, plays the governor, and the cross-eye.
Right.
He doesn't see anything. It's like super dumb, and it's super like...
Of course, Cleavon Little.
Yes.
The extraordinary Gene Wilder plays the Waco Kid in the movie. Madeline Kahn, who plays Lily von Stoop, which is hilarious German.
How do you pronounce her
Lily
last
von Kahn. Lily von Stoop.
Stoop?
Yes, there's like joke. Stoop. I was telling her Stoop means like your...
What does a stoop mean?
It's like having sex. Or Stoop. Like Stoop. I think it's Yiddish. I'm not sure. Harvey Korman, who's classic in the film as Hedley Lamar, Slim Pickens, Alex Karras. Alex Karras to me was George Papadopoulos on Webster, but he was also ex-football player and he plays Mongo, which is a all-time classic character. Even people say Mongo today and maybe never seen the film. So, you want to get into... Let's get into
what is your favorite character?
I mean, I love Bart. Bart's the shit.
Bart's
Cleavon Little.
Shit.
Let's get into the first person. Like, let's get going and talking about all this stuff.
Okay.
He didn't die. Actually, he was alive for life. He didn't pass away until 1992, Cleavon Little.
1992.
He was an amazing, amazing actor in this film.
Yes, he played with I remember one of his let's find our VIP guest.
I want to see some more. Yeah, okay, VIP best. But
best.
Guess.
VIP
who is
guest. Last one. Okay. Our first VIP guest is here.
Yes. Nixter.
I think this giant mosquito. Look, I just bit by my arm.
I feel like you're preoccupied with the mosquito.
I just bit by mosquito. Guys, here.
You know what you do? You do that little cross in there. It gets the venom out faster.
Who said that?
I don't know. It's old. Nixter, what's going on?
Hey.
Hi.
Hi.
Where are you calling in? Are you Nick?
Yeah, you call me Nico. You know.
Nico, what's going on? Where are you calling in from?
I'm calling in from Richmond, Texas.
Oh wow! Shout out to Texas.
Like I know the cowboy western thing.
Yeah. So have you seen? It's your first time calling in, so I appreciate. Shout out to Texas.
Yeah, thank you.
And were you able to watch the film this week or in the past?
Oh yeah, I've watched it several times. Like probably the first ever Mel Brooks movie I ever saw.
Oh wow!
Wow.
So are you just a film lover, or are you in the film industry
Yeah,
at all?
I'm a general film lover. I love the whole satire, comedy. Especially like Mel Brooks. I just love it.
No, he's great. I mean, you seem pretty young, so I'm impressed that you know Mel Brooks and you watched some of his films.
Oh yeah, I mean, what a movie to talk about this month. I mean, I just love the way, like, I mean, he once said, if you're going to make fun of somebody, make fun of everybody. And he literally makes fun of everybody in this film. Race, religion, everything.
Totally. He mashes it all up, and he does it in a way that's obviously, crazy and foul. But if you're foul to everybody, then it just seems like you're able to tell some truth and some madness of what's going on with everyone.
Yeah, and then I also like the modern references. Like, you think, oh, it's just a typical Western parody. And then they have stuff like the toll booth, where there's a line full of bikers and Nazis and the Ku Klux Klan. Like,
that's so representative, right?
I know, right?
Like, it's so representative. It's like puts you on a different perspective. Like, looking at that people standing in line, and it's so represent like Nazis, bikers, and then
the
Mexicans and KKK.
The Arabs,
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're shout out the Arabs back in the 70s.
I know, right? Yeah, Cleavon Little, of course, he's hilarious in this. Like, he has the whole town pointing their guns at him, so he just puts a gun to his head. Like, that's the only way to get out of it. It's just super hilarious.
Yeah, it's super hilarious. It makes me think, like, what was he on, Mel Brooks? Like, it's so crazy. And all the actors, it looks like they just had so much fun doing it. It almost reminds me of theater back in the day and improv, and just, like, think of crazy things to do. But they actually did it, and they put it all on film.
Yeah.
And reading the script, you were like, this is never going to work.
Yeah.
But it's so good.
I mean, you could not make this film today if you wanted to.
I don't think you can.
I don't think. It's so many political correctness, so many things. You have to, like, careful. You can't say, you can't do that.
Maybe Key and Peele can do it. Key and Peele, those dudes do crazy stuff like that.
Maybe they could do it.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And of course, I think my favorite character is probably, the Waco kid, Gene Wilder. The man just has a connection to my funny bone. He gets me every time.
I know, he's so funny, but he's also in, I guess other films, for people that don't know Gene Wilder, he was Willy Wonka in the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, as well as Dr. Strangelove. Frankenstein, yeah, Dr. Frankenstein. Mel Brooks, Dr. Frankenstein. And so many other stir crazy with Richard Pryor, but he's so funny, but so intelligent and, like, smart. Like, he's serious.
He's serious. Like, he's not, like, quirky funny, but he has his, like, vibe. And at the same time, he's, like, when you see him, like, he has a story.
He's, like, intense funny. He's, like, intense funny.
And he is so smart. And he will, like, even though he doesn't have any dialogue and he stands there and he has a show, he will steal the show, like, easily. Right. Don't you feel that?
Yeah, of course. He stole the show several times.
Like, look, the way he stands.
Yeah,
like, the way he just stands with that cowboy hat and with that look.
He has a lot of confidence in this movie. He has a lot of confidence.
I think he should win a Best Supportive Actor.
I don't know if he ever won an Oscar, but he's amazing.
Yeah, like, one of my favorite scenes with him is like, I have a problem, I can't shoot anymore. It's like, slap my hand. Oh, it's stone cold. It's like, I know, but I shoot with this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes,
like,
that one.
Silly jokes like that, but I know Mel Brooks pulls that stuff off. It's like it takes it way out, almost like a variety show for a second, and then brings it back in.
And then, of course, my favorite scene. The whole time they're just breaking the fourth wall with people staring at the camera, representing modern events. And then they physically break the fourth wall and just have a whole pie fight across the studio.
Yeah, the pie fight, the whole dancing number with Dom DeLuise coming out. You're like, what is going on? And then the whole Inception movie, moment where, like, they're in the movie theater, but they see him rolling in the movie theater.
That ending part, I have to be honest with you guys, I got confused and I didn't like the ending part. Like, what?
I think they were doing drugs. I think they were doing drugs while they were doing the movie.
It was like,
and it just ate it out.
But it was fun though. I liked it. I got it. It was fun.
Or the jumping on the different dimension.
I've done that stuff. Yeah.
Did you like the ending?
Oh yeah, I love the ending, especially at the end where, like, the kid goes with Cleavon Little's character, and he still has the popcorn from the theater they were shooting.
Yes!
Yeah, it's a throwback with the popcorn. Like, they planned it all out. And this is, like, before, people are doing, like, stuff on YouTube and TikTok where they're mixing up the lines of stuff all the time. Like this was like really, this is '70s. They were doing some weird stuff. They were doing really weird things.
I have a quick question about the ending. Like when they shooting and they breaking into the different stage, and there's a whole like dancing stage and with a bunch of French
dancers.
What's up with those? Like are they like they're like representing all the gays?
No, I mean they are.
It was more like that was kind of like the kind of movies that were shooting at the time, you know.
Right. So if you look at films from the '60s and '70s, they have those big dance numbers in the movie. You know, Fred Astaire stuff. I mean, I'm thinking the other names. You know, those guys. They like singing in the rain. They always have these big dance numbers on the soundstage like that.
Yeah,
so they just kind of like pan as if they're doing one of those. That was like modern for that time.
And the French director is like.
That's Dom DeLuise, who's a classic. Shout out to Dom DeLuise.
Voice actor.
So funny.
I know. I mean, like, I just watched this show over and over again. I mean, I showed it to my friends, and you know, of course, my friends, you know, they're different races, and every single one of them, even though it makes fun of all the races, they still love it, and I think that's what makes it great. Like, they make fun of everybody, but it still gets a laugh out of people.
Yeah.
It is like if you're able to make fun of yourself, and if you're able to like accepting who you are, like you're not really insecure about how people look at you and making fun of you. Like you just accept it, you just laugh about it.
I make fun of Alice every day.
Yes, you do, because I'm so confident, and you get jealous. So that's what it is.
So, one second, Nico, just a quick question for you. How did you get into film, like loving film?
Oh, I basically grew up watching, you know, old cartoon films and stuff. I took a lot of film classes. I graduated from NYU, Tisch, you know.
Oh,
wow.
What'd you study?
Yeah, and even then, it was funny because, like, oh, have you seen these Mel Brooks films? Because I studied a lot of his films and movies. But my dad was the one who showed me them before, like, way back in high school. So I already had, like, a general understanding of, you know, satire, comedy. That was my favorite kind. Yeah. And, of course, you know, I grew up watching you and Hook. That was another one of my childhood films.
Oh,
Avatar,
nice.
like a double whammy.
Hey, man, I appreciate that. So what did you study at Tisch?
I studied cinema studies. Basically, that's like the actual understanding of themes of films.
Oh, wow. So you are an official aficionado.
Right?
Are you going to be like a critic or a writer or what do you think?
A little bit. We kind of like, you know, critiquing movies. Maybe I have written some stuff on the side, you know, trying to try to get the satire in remnants of Mel Brooks. Without getting canceled, of course. You know?
Of course. That's amazing, man.
Amazing.
So you're gonna be a filmmaker also.
Yes. I'm trying to get in the filmmaking business for a while now.
That's awesome. Good luck on the journey, man.
That's so nice.
I feel like you're in a lane that not a lot of people are in right now.
Yeah.
You know, I'm saying like Key and Peele, they guys are there, but like your generation, a lot of people, I would say a lot of cats in your generation don't even know Mel Brooks and how brilliant he is, and to bring some of that levity and some of that truth, I think is going to be welcomed. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but also, you're talking about cartoons, and the great thing about this movie is halfway through the movie, I was like, you know, Sheriff Bart, he's reminding me of Bugs Bunny. Like, it feels like Bugs Bunny in real life in this town.
And they literally do a Looney Tunes reference.
And then they do a Looney Tunes reference when he delivers Mongo the bomb in in the dessert thing, which is it's so crazy. Like, these dudes were and then they smoke weed in the movie. So I'm like, these guys are smoking some marijuana during this movie, and they're just like, let's just try this.
My favorite moment is just like these two guys smoking weed and the police office. Their office, and just thinking about it, like how they deal with this issue, and then how they're gonna do it. And in that Jen, he gives him like in order to like when Mango came to town. Mongo came to the. What did I say? Mango.
You said Mango.
Mongo comes to town, and then he Bart about to grab his gun, and it's like, no, you don't want to shoot him.
Oh, yeah.
Remember? And you don't want to shoot him. Like, he just like super like they like combinations. Like,
there's like a coolness to
it. And they complete each other. He couldn't be that clever and that smartness without the Bart.
Right.
Bart couldn't complete his mission without Jim. So
Waco Kid.
Waco Kid. So they literally complete each other, and they literally.
You sound like Jerry Maguire. They complete each other.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Shout out to Jerry Maguire.
And then you gotta love Mel Brooks for like literally being one of the most offensive characters in the movie as the mayor.
Oh, he's offensive as the mayor. He's playing brownface. He's playing the Indian chief.
Yeah.
He's doing crazy stuff in this movie.
I really forgot about that. He played Indian chief too.
But he plays the Indian chief as a Jew.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is crazy. I mean, I have to watch. I would love to
People
study.
just like Alice always know what's up.
You do?
I like to
I'm not
study
really
more on Mel Brooks because I think he's brilliant, and he was, like you said, he's just not offensive, but he's like willing to joke about anybody, everybody, and everything, and no one's off limits. And
I think comedy is supposed to be like that. If you're concerned about more, and if you like can't say what you're supposed to say, comedy comes from your actual life.
Right.
If nobody can relate that, what's the meaning of comedy?
So funny. You know what? Remember when Sheriff Bart's like trying to get the Ku Klux Klan members over behind the rock?
Oh yeah.
He's like, "Where are the white women at?" And
Yeah. That's my favorite part.
Like people say that today, like referring to that joke, and I don't know if everyone understands where that joke comes from. You know, that's.
And then
What?
when they take the mask off, he's like, "For my next impression, Jesse Owens."
Yeah.
That was good. That was really
That's
good.
classic. Wow, Nico, dude, you're so knowledgeable. Please watch more of our cinema clubs and tune in. We'd love to get more of your thoughts because it's great.
I know.
I will. And I need to do any more Mel Brooks films in the future. Or just any movies in the future. I would definitely love to be part of it.
Yeah, and good luck. Good luck on your writing. Good luck on your writing, man. Get your Mel Brooks stuff out there. I can't wait to see what you come up with.
Me too. I can't wait.
Thank
All right,
you
cheers.
so much. Thanks for having me on. Take care.
Take care, you too. Thank you.
Wow, Nico was such a
Nico,
informed.
he knows what's up. Not Alice knows
Just
what's
an
up.
informed guy. What's going on, everybody? Paolo Honey's still in the house. Ali
So-
Daj 0789. How you doing? So we're watching, and we watched Blazing Saddles this week for Monday Cinema Club.
Uh-huh.
And for the people that were able to watch this movie or know about this movie, want to talk about this movie
Hashtag.
and share hashtag what?
Blaze.
Blaze. Hashtag Blaze, and we'll get you in here. Come talk about the
Talk
movie with
about
us.
movie.
Blazing Saddles, Mel Brooks. Yo Kel's a salute Nico. Boom. He is the dude. I agree with you. Hearts up. If you ever watched, and especially if you watched Blazing Saddles this week with us,
This week with us.
hashtag Blaze, and we'll get you in.
Should
to
we pull
the-
our old friend Nicole? Get the
Oh,
Nicole
okay.
in.
Where?
What's she-
I didn't see her.
Right here. View request. Right there.
Yeah, but I'm just getting the Blaze. I'm definitely gonna bring Nicole, but I'm just gonna bring the first person with the Blaze. Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
First person
Hashtag
with Blaze.
Blaze.
Aloha to Uncle L518.
First come, first
Aloha,
serve.
bro. Hello. Oh, we're back.
She's
Yes.
the mall.
Allie at the mall.
Allie in the mall.
Allie at the mall. Allie's back.
Allie's
I'm back.
Good to see you. How's Ohio doing?
Illinois.
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 I knew it was somewhere in the Midwest. One of the Midwest places.
The Midwest is cold and it's snowy and really nasty.
Oh no.
And you ain't at the mall right now.
You're
You ain't
in the
at
mall.
Nope, I'm in my room.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So, Allie, what you know about Blazing Saddles?
I have to admit, I forgot to watch it.
Oh my God! It's all good. Just want to come and say hi today?
She just wanted
Heck
to say
yeah.
hi. It's like, hey guys, don't forget to go to mall.
I'm guilty. I forgot to watch it this week.
It's all good.
It's all good.
Check it out. I think you'll like it. It's pretty out there.
I think it fits your
I
personality.
think you're gonna like. I think you're gonna like the humor because you
Humor.
have a great sense of humor. And I think you're gonna be 100%
You will love
with
it.
that.
Heck yeah. In fact, well, and when you were talking about, with all the satire and the race, and like racism going on, have you ever heard this show called Coronation Street?
No.
It's
Have you?
I heard it one time. Someone was talking about it, but I don't know exactly what that is.
It's a British show. It's on. I think it's ITV, ITV.
Okay.
It's like my favorite show. I've been binge watching it. they actually have a few episodes right now that is dealing with race Sean
Ratios.
Stop it.
race. But yeah, there's been a few episodes that I've been watching where they've been dealing with some racism when it has to do with black race.
Oh, wow.
And so I felt like that episode kind of sort of related to blazing cinema
Blazing Saddles in the cinema.
Saddles.
Blazing
Okay,
Saddles.
well let's we'll definitely send a recommendation on everybody's got Coronation Street on the BBC.
Yeah, it's ITV, I think, and it's on YouTube.
Okay.
The show's hilarious. There's it's kind of like it's got drama, it's got comedy, it's I guess they could say it's kind of like a soap opera sort of, but it's got
Sounds interesting.
Absolutely, yes.
Recommendation from Allie in the Mall.
Allie in the Mall recommendation. She just dropped by, and I'm like, by the way, I'm just gonna drop a recommendation.
We appreciate. We always love seeing you and hearing from you.
yes, you guys. You guys are my favorite.
Oh, thank you.
You.
Stay warm out there.
Stay
warm out there.
Heck
You're
yeah.
gonna stick around for the movie for next week. We're gonna announce because it's Valentine's next week, so it's gonna be something romantic. You might like that.
I have a feeling it's gonna be Valentine's Day, the movie.
No, but yes, that's good. That's not that movie. Not that movie.
Darn.
Thank you, Allie. Good to see you.
Good to
You
see
too.
you.
It was good to see you guys. Have a good one.
Absolutely. You too. Allie in the Mall.
All right.
She
So
just
if
dropped
you
the
watched
recommendation.
the movie this week, hit us up with a hashtag Blaze.
We're
Hashtag
discussing movie
Blaze.
Blazing Saddle. Blazing
Allie the
Saddle.
goat. Allie the goat.
Why is Allie the goat?
She's the greatest of all time. She's the greatest of all time. You said we'll bring Nicole real quick. We'll bring Nicole real quick.
All right. What's up, Nicole?
I'm sure
She's
Nicole
in
watched the movie.
She
She said she did.
She did.
I see text or trade. Nicole.
Oh, I love the blue. I love the blue, Nicole.
I guess they're matching.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
Did you watch the movie? Yes, you watched the movie.
I just did.
And how did we feel about this film, Nicole? We're always wondering how you feel about the film.
It came by surprise. It was funny, considering it was made from the 1970s.
Yeah, it was pretty.
Yeah.
It was pretty fast forward for 1970s for sure. Anything stood out to you that you really liked or really disliked?
I feel like she didn't like the movie. You didn't like the movie, didn't you?
I liked this. Like, I
But
don't
not
know.
really favorite.
There are some stuff that I had to look up too because I was like, "What are they talking about? Like, who's that?" Like,
Me too.
Like one sheriff things like, "You wouldn't do it for this other guy," and I'm like, "Who is that other guy?" He was a sheriff in a bunch of Western films before 1970s. Like, oh, you do it for the white sheriff, so you do it for black sheriff. There's certain things I was like, I don't even know what they're referring to, but there's some things that
What about that grandma?
the grandma getting beat up is hilarious. What's your favorite scene in the movie? I love when that grandma brings that pie.
Hi, and it just
And then she comes back like, "Hey, don't tell nobody I did this stuff, right?" And she's like, "Yeah, of course not." Hey, your favorite moments in the movie,
I
Nicole?
have like two favorite scenes.
Hit us with it.
Please.
What's her name? Madeline Kahn, when she's doing
Yeah,
that.
Madeline Kahn.
Yeah, like the ending with the number, and she opens her leg, and then the guns are like bang.
She was crazy because she's like a German,
She's the German.
like kind
At
of
that time in the
Marlene
story.
Dietrich vibe, and and then she has all the Nazis behind her, or whatever. She's talking with a German accent, but she has a very thick
German
lisp.
accent.
A German accent and a lisp. It's like, what
Is she
is going
German
on?
actually in there?
I don't know. No, I don't know.
No,
I'm
she
not sure. I'm not sure. But she is a hilarious, funny, weird character in the film for sure. What's your other favorite moment?
That part where Gene Wilder and Bart dress up as like, before they take away the clothes of the KKK, they're like, "Where are the white women at?"
Yeah. Where the white woman at?
Where are the white women at? And they came like,
They're like, "We're gonna kill that guy."
We're gonna kill that guy.
This is a weird movie for sure.
That tells you like a lot. Like if you know like your enemies, that weakness part, and you can utilize that part just like
You sound like you're
for
quoting
your advantage.
The
Like,
Art of War here.
what do you mean Art of War? Have you read that book?
No, have you?
Yes.
I know you did.
Few
That's what I'm saying.
times. That's what it is. Like they know that those guys, if they say that comment, they're gonna get pissed off.
Yeah, but it makes it funny.
Makes it funny at the same time.
Yeah, there's so many little nuggets in this film that are so classic. I think as a movie before its time and still so poignant now, it's hard to believe. That's what I gotta say. Nicole, guess what? I know you watch your movies every week, so I'm gonna tell you.
I feel like you just call her name. It's like
I like to say Nicole.
Nicole. Like
She's very.
her mom.
No,
Her
Nicole's
mother,
very because Nicole. For people watching, Nicole watches like
Listen.
almost all our movies with us, which is we
Absolutely.
appreciate, which is amazing. So I'm telling you for next week, as you're like I feel like an elder, like Nicole.
Nicole, listen to
Nicole,
her.
next week is Valentine's Day, which we know is on Sunday. So happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day, Nicole.
And so we're gonna do a romantic film. So Monday Cinema Club next week on Monday, we're gonna talk about Ghost. Ghost. You don't know Ghost?
When did it came out?
It came
Came
out
out.
in the 90s probably.
90s, bro. And then
Patrick Swayze,
Patrick Swayze.
Demi Moore.
No, we both the
that's
Ghost and the
And-
Dirty Dance at the same time.
Yeah,
And Dirty
but we're
Dancing.
gonna do Ghost, and to go along with Black History Month, Whoopi Goldberg won an Oscar for Best Supporting Actress in the movie. So, Ghost. You know what I'm saying?
She's not.
Are you
really
excited? Are you excited, Nicole?
She's not excited.
Yeah.
About
I need you to get excited for a Ghost. You don't need to get excited, but I just want to let you know because I know
My
you're probably gonna
mom's
watch
really
it
excited.
for us. Yeah.
She
Well,
loves
have a
Patrick
good Valentine's Day. Thank you for
Have
watching
a
the movie
good
with us.
Valentine's Day, Nicole.
Have a good Valentine's Day.
All right,
All right,
bye. Love the blue.
Look nice.
I know it's pretty.
All right, so let's go. Hashtag Blaze.
Oh no, go.
Hashtag Blaze. And then, yeah, so we're doing Ghost next week. Can't wait to hear all your ideas about Ghost. But if you watched Blazing Saddles this week, let's talk about.
Watch Blaze.
Let's Blaze.
Saddle.
First one that popped up,
Yeah.
we got.
Ooh,
what's up? What's happening?
What's happening?
What's your
Hey,
name?
Paolo,
Hey.
what's up?
Paolo, nice name. Where you calling in from, Paolo?
South Texas. I actually called a while back. We talked about Jaws. I think I sang for you.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome
I
back.
remember
Welcome
that.
back.
Welcome back.
So,
What's up?
What's
do you know
up?
about Blazing Saddles?
Of course, I love Blazing Saddles.
All right, drop
Drop some
knowledge.
knowledge. Tell us
All
what
right,
you think. Your
so-
favorite moments, favorite ideas in the movie. Anything.
Or you hate it.
Okay, so I love Blazing Saddles. I love Mel Brooks in general. I grew up. My parents probably shouldn't have shown me, but I grew up on a lot of Mel Brooks films. History of the World being one of my favorites.
One of my favorite. One
Yeah.
of my favorite ever. Fuck death. Fuck death. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. But Saddles, I wanted to talk about. Well, first I want to mention my favorite joke. I think Nicole said, which was, where the white women at?
Mine too. Where the white woman at?
I love that. But that actually leads into the point. I watched a video essay on this movie recently, and it talked about a really cool reason Blazing Saddles can't be made today. And a lot of people consider it being super like, oh, you can't say these people are too sensitive. And in a way that's true, but I have another reason why. So I'm guessing since you're such a cinephile, you've watched old Westerns as well, right?
Yeah.
So this basically parodies Westerns to the point where Westerns beforehand, they used to be very clean. There's the white man savior, no cursing. They didn't talk about how the Old West treated Americans, Chinese, building the rail. And this movie kind of broke those norms in terms of, hey, this is how the West was. It may not be realistic, but very like, here are all the things that are exposed. And after that movie came out, after Blazing Saddles came out, a lot of movies after, like a lot of Westerns became deconstructions. So Westerns now, constructions of Westerns before, because of what Blazing Saddles did. So Blazing Saddles can't be made today. Westerns are incomplete. The Westerns now are incomplete. What is it called? What's the word? It's in reverence to the fact that Blazing Saddles affected it so much.
Oh wow, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, you
makes
think
a lot
about
of sense.
Unforgiven when you have what are you calling it? What's this, the voice of God in the film which is like there's a strong black character in the film. Morgan Freeman's in the film as a strong character. You got the series that was on HBO where they swear and curse through the whole series.
Yeah.
We're like, damn, is that how that West was? These guys talking crazy. So yeah, I never thought like that. So you're saying they impacted all the Westerns after that to be less of this kind of like fake fantasy world of how the West was, when obviously the West wasn't
like that.
Yeah. Let alone Westworld on HBO.
Yes.
Which is totally
different,
ethnically diverse and violent and crazy and all kinds of stuff going on.
Yes, and you can argue that the West that are today like really popular. Some of the ones are made by Tarantino, Django Unchained, and The Hateful Eight. They feature black characters and feature a black character going against white. Right. And I think Blazing Saddles really set the paved the way for that in a way, because it was like they had an African American be the main character, and his race wasn't just like, it wasn't like, oh, suddenly we have a black hero, racism is solved in the West, but it was more like he's a hero because he has to face that, no matter how funny the jokes are, and they're really funny. I don't know if Alice talked about this scene earlier, but it was the one where the mayor is talking but he takes the black person with him and he almost says the N-word.
Yeah.
I love that joke, but it's also
funny. He's like,
hold on a second.
It's so funny that you say Tarantino, because I actually thought of Tarantino during the movie, and I wasn't, and I love Hateful Eight and I love Django Unchained, but I didn't think about those westerns he did. But just the audaciousness and the craziness of what Mel Brooks is doing, I see that in Tarantino's work. Because Tarantino also, although he's not doing comedy necessarily, he does a lot of humor in his films.
Dark
but
comedy.
He also has irreverence to like, he'll say the N-word in the movie, he'll do things that are like really just politically incorrect because this is how people are, and it's like truthful in a weird way. He's not doing it to be like racist necessarily. He's doing it just to be like, this is how people are, and this kind of person is gonna say this stupid shit, and let's not pretend this dude ain't gonna say that.
Exactly.
You know? But the crassness of some of the stuff that Mel Brooks is doing in a comedy way, I really got them Tarantino feels. I'm like, oh damn, Tarantino's still a lot of what Mel Brooks is doing, just in a more, action suspense kind of way, but still that kind of crassness and kind of like irreverence for what the norms of what I'm supposed to do. I'm gonna do something different, and it's funny. And
not only different, it's super raw materials. Like it's just basically this based on the truth. Like people act that way, talk that way. There's no filter whatsoever. So that's the part we as the audience, when we saw it, like it's like, oh my god, this is so true. Oh my god, this is so
and it's funny
funny.
because if you don't put significance on it, like I'm gonna try to do the right thing here, it just makes it more like, okay, that's just like how people are maneuvering and living, and you can still find like yourself in there. You can still learn lessons in there without having to like put quotations around it. After school special, like, now we're not supposed to do this. Like, look, this is what we do, and you look like a jackass when you do that.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they were a jack. I mean,
yeah, the crassness, as you mentioned, is on purpose, because it's like, yeah, this is something that we can't say now, but the characters saying it are really bad people. So in a way, the movie is saying like, I mean, yeah, they're saying really bad things. You can't say it because they're saying it in the film. These are people who are evil, who have prejudice in their hearts. And a lot of people, when they see this movie, they kind of go, I can't believe they said that in this movie. And I'm like, yeah, but look who's saying it in this movie. It's hero. If they're trying to portray this sort of ideal, like when I studied film, I remember a lot of people used to tell me, yeah, have you watched Birth of a Nation yet? And I was like, why Birth of a Nation? That thing literally gave this Ku Klux Klan a second revival. And that's another movie that people, yeah, it is, because it's about, they have blackface in it. It's about the Ku Klux Klan. And it's crazy. But like with Blazing Saddles, people sort of put it in the same place because of how it's not politically correct. But I think that the fact that it isn't shows that these people exist, and the reason we laugh is because we know it's wrong, but now we're given a place to laugh at it, but also like reflect on ourselves, like why did we think that was
exactly so true. So true.
Damn, Paolo's dropping knowledge, man. I feel like finger snaps up in here. Dude, shout out to a lot of daytime Texas speakers today. Thank you so much for joining us again and dropping knowledge.
Thank you for educating us too.
No problem, and you guys take care. Dante, always great to see you. You're one of my heroes. And my girlfriend's asleep. She's really shy. She wants to say hi. She's right.
Tell the girlfriend we say hi. Hello.
Oh my god. She's hiding here.
Yeah.
She's so cute.
And Hey, like I gotta say right before I go. I know I don't want to keep my time because I know other people want to go, but I wanted to say I recently saw a movie that you were in. It took me forever to.
No, you froze.
No.
You
No,
froze.
you
I'm saying
froze.
again,
You
you
froze.
froze. Okay,
You
go ahead.
froze.
It's the debut, which is like you play a character who has white friends. And since we're discussing the topic of how race is seen, how did you feel? Just as a question, how did you feel making that movie, and how important did it feel for you to touch on the fact that people are really whitewashed? Filipinos in general are very whitewashed and carry a lot of urban culture in America.
Yeah. I mean, I think it was really important to that film. It was the first Filipino-American film produced in Hollywood, and I had the good fortune of starring in it. And it was big for me. It was big for my family. And we talked a lot about a lot of those things while we were doing it, and what they meant, to the director and the writer, and how that planned out. Because I grew up more Mexican and Black neighborhoods, and the urbanization of what we were doing on one side, but then I was playing a whitewashed character, and how those kids, the Filipinos in the suburbs, and how it affected them. And it's all, we're just telling stories, and we're not trying to do the definitive thing for all Filipinos of all time, but you're just telling a story, and you're ultimately telling a story of, children of immigrants in America, and where do we fit in? How do we fit in? Not even where, how do we fit in? And the growing pains of what that is. I mean, ultimately, like that film, like a lot of times you find out we all are actually more alike than we are different, and that's great. But there's a process to get there, and how we see each other viewed on race is problematic, but I'm very proud of that film. I love that film, and I love that you love it.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Thanks, Bob.
Absolutely.
Bye.
Our pleasure. Bye.
Dude, so many great
to talk to
speakers
you.
today.
I know.
We can do one more before we
What
get
a-
into our last VIP guest.
VIP.
So hashtag Blaze right now, and then we'll bring you in.
Blaze.
If you watch the
Hashtag
movie,
Blaze.
let's talk about the film. The
Mhm.
film.
Oh my god.
I saw
I
actually.
want to slap you.
You want to slap my head on the film?
No, there's a mosquito on your back.
Is he gonna bite me? Don't let him bite me. This is the mosquito. Inner space. I want to do inner space too.
Hi.
Hey, what's going on?
Wow.
Dennis, how you living? Oh, how you living?
I am doing well, guys. How are you?
I know you got something to say about
This film.
Blazing Saddles.
Boo, you know I always got something to say about these movies.
Talk to me. What'd you think about this? This was a big one too. This was a big one.
This is probably one of my favorite movies ever in life.
No way.
Mel
No way.
Brooks, in general, is a fantastic director, and there's something about grown men being so silly that just gets me every single time. Like, I could not stop laughing at this movie because just the quick jokes, and then they're just on to another one.
Yeah,
It's so
the
perfect.
big jokes and the small jokes and the stacks of the jokes in
Jokes
between, and just
Super
letting
quirky.
Mel Brooks letting people just like go crazy. Like,
Yeah, it's
do it.
just every single one of his films is just super fun. And even if you're listening for 5 minutes, sitting down and coming in on this movie for 5 minutes, you're gonna laugh. Like,
Yes, it's a.
And how many jokes are still being told today that come from these movies that we don't know when we say a joke? It actually came from that
Came
movie.
from
100%, 100%.
His crassness, his irreverence to just talk shit about anything and everyone. When you look at it like politically now and woke, it's like he's talking about racism, he's talking about classism, he's talking about politics, he's talking about feminism. He's talking he's talking about all this shit in this really crazy way.
Uncomfortable jokes too. Like, some of the jokes is super uncomfortable, but at the same time you laugh. You know why? Because you can't relate that jokes. Like, it happens in your reality, in real life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found it so interesting because I've been watching these movies with you guys for a while, and anytime the N-bomb is dropped in like really dramatic roles, it's always like, like, did that have to happen? But like with Mel Brooks, he really is laughing at everyone, no holds bar. Like, he's just a nice, funny Jewish little man that like wants to make everyone laugh.
You're like, is he crazy? He must be crazy.
No, he doesn't. He's super raw. He's like,
Yeah.
he's the one of the person, if you're like, if you sit down, have a coffee or just tea, like talk to him, he probably the super raw, no filter.
Yeah.
And it's super
100%.
honest
Yep.
and just straightforward based on his jokes, based on the way he tells the story.
He's like a comedian godfather. Just I don't even know how he got these films greenlit. I don't know how this happened. You're like, who gave him money to do this? This is
You know,
crazy.
it's so funny too, because I want to say maybe Austin Powers was the last really good spoof movie like that. You know, you don't really find satires quite like Mel Brooks anymore, where it's just like slapstick comedy, you know, just like really big slapstick
It's a fine
comedy.
line. It's a fine line
It
because some
is.
people try to do it and it just does not come off good. It just looks
Exactly.
whack.
Yeah. Or like
That's
this
just right.
generation like doesn't get it
Do it.
anymore. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, the whole thing too. I just hope this new generation. I mean, we are in a time of like a lot of political correctness and a lot of wokeness, which is great in social justice, and I think of
100%.
course all stuff is great. But I don't want us to lose our sense of humor as a society. Because humor, there's a lot to learn in humor.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that you can take with a laugh that you cannot take with a scolding or with a,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yes, that is. I think laughter helps us through a lot of pain. And
Exactly. Laugh, especially when you laugh at something, laugh it out loud. Like you're laughing not because of you're laughing at them,
right.
you laugh with them, and then at the same time you learn. Like you laughing, and it's like, oh my god, this is stupid things we do as humans.
The most brilliant
You know what I
comedians
mean?
make you laugh but make you think.
Make you think,
You know?
Yeah.
and then you laugh at the same time. You learn and you think, and it's like, oh my god, I'm laughing the stupid things. I'm laughing, but at the same time, we do those kind of stupid things.
Or that's wrong. That's so wrong.
Super
And you know that's wrong.
That's
Yeah.
wrong. Like
You know?
right now,
Yep.
we feel like we're all like super. I mean, of course, we have to like stand up. We have to make our voice matter, like voice heard, like super PC. But for comes to comedy, become like every artist, every stand-up comedy is like become like super like tight. And they can't
It's
say
very tough to
anything.
be a comedian.
Everything
now.
what they said, it's
Yeah.
wrong. Like you can't
Mhm.
say this, you can this. Become like super tight, and then they can't even laugh.
Well, outside of all his political jokes, are just crazy,
Become so
dumb,
serious.
regular jokes.
Right.
Like when all the cowboys are just sitting around the fire eating the beans.
A quintessential
That's
joke right
so
there.
It's an essential scene, and they're just
What
farting.
is that scene about? Wait, thank
What?
you for
That's
reminding
a
me. What is
quintessential
that
scene.
scene about?
Again,
What
just
is
grown
farting?
That's
grown
not-
men
Oh
being
my
silly, man.
You
There's
fart.
something
Oh,
about
that's
grown
why I
men
don't
being
like
silly, dude. Grown men being silly is there's nothing like it.
It was so weird, like just like a farting that noise, and you just keep eating it, and then
It's like the
tomato.
longest farting
Mango.
scene ever,
It's
too.
like a 5-minute farting scene. It's classic. Like that's a quintessential scene of the movie for sure. It's a quintessential.
Like-
Oh my god, that's silly at the same time when you look at it.
Damn. Well, Denise, we're always glad to hear you join us. Our hour's almost up. We got one more guest to bring on, but thank you for joining. We always love talking to you.
Thank you guys. It's always a pleasure. I was actually washing dishes and listening to you guys, so I'm glad you guys pulled me away. So I appreciate
glad-
it.
Glad we could be there to keep you company while you wash the
Keep
dishes.
you company while you watch it.
Always. Love you guys. Oh, I can't wait for Ghost next week either.
Ghost.
Yes,
Yeah.
Ghost for
Like,
Happy
Valentine's.
Valentine's Day.
Great
Ghost.
pick. Great pick.
Happy
See you next
Valentine's
week.
Day.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
All right. Who's our last VIP, baby?
Okay.
Let's see.
Where does my Instagram? All right, last VIP guest is
Okay.
Sungla.
Soon. They'll tell us. Soon.
Gila.
Okay.
Came out? No. Hannah. This is her name, right?
Hannah, are you out
Hannah,
there?
are you in there? Are you in the room? You're the last VIP
I
guest.
found her.
Oh, here she is.
Hannah
Hi, Hannah.
Lakota horse, she said.
Oh my god.
I believe she's Native
I'm-
American. She might have something to say about something.
Hello.
Hello!
Hi,
Hannah, how you doing?
Hannah.
Where are you calling in from?
I'm in Sheboygan, Wisconsin, but originally from Palmdale, California.
Oh wow! Shout out Palmdale. No, Palmdale. Well, now you're in
Of course.
Wisconsin.
Yeah. So now I'm freezing. So yeah.
I said last. You said Lakota horse. Are you native?
I am part, yes.
Awesome. First
Nice.
Nation. That's amazing. There's some native. There's some native. Of course,
Yep.
the Western thing.
Yep.
So they talked about everybody in this film.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So
Oh,
talk
see.
about Brooks.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. No, I love this movie. This movie is just, I love Mel Brooks, so I'm just another one of those Mel Brooks nuts that absolutely loves everything. Robin Hood Men in Tights was probably my cheer me up movie in high school. Like every time you had a bad day, I'd have to go rent that movie.
I have not
And,
seen it in a while, but that's the one I think I should watch again. That's great. No
It's
one
a
does
really-
movies quite like Mel Brooks. Just like no one does it.
Well, and he references Blazing Saddles in it, like, because you've got you know, at the end he's like, oh yeah, you know, we'll make him a sheriff, and he's like a black sheriff, and you're like, why not? It worked in Blazing Saddles. Yeah, absolutely.
He's a legend that he can reference himself.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, honestly, I think the whole satire, like you guys were talking about, he's kind of the original, you know, as far as really coming out there and giving truths.
Done as that frequently, you know, Naked Gun series. I think they're really good.
Right.
Some
But
other
they came
things-
after. The Naked Gun series are after, yeah.
But not good.
And it's all almost homages to Mel Brooks. They're all still almost all homages to Mel Brooks, which is crazy.
Yeah. And it's sad that you can't make a movie like this anymore. It's sad.
It is sad, and like you can't because it's we just talked about it earlier. It's just like so much, like people getting way too serious about everything. You cannot make it.
I think you can't, or maybe
Yeah.
the right filmmaker has to come along.
Come along.
The next Mel Brooks.
That's true. Yeah.
Pull it off with that. You know, I don't know. You just got to be whatever Mel Brooks was smoking. You got to be smoking what Mel Brooks is smoking. Because he's doing stuff no one else does. Like, what are you doing?
Well, and he
dude?
references it in other movies too, like History of the World, and they have that giant blunt and like,
Gregory Hines.
yeah.
History of
Like
the
in the
World,
chariot.
Yeah. It's so
Yeah.
wrong. It's so wrong.
And that's what makes it right.
Someone needs to come and do, remember that at the end of the History of the World Part 1, they said they're going to come back to History of Part 2, and they never did
Yeah.
it.
I know, and I wanted to see the Jews in space, and
Jews in
all
space.
that
I
stuff.
feel like,
Yeah.
like I said, Keenan, Key and Peele should come back and they take it over. We're going to do History of the World Part 2 for Mel Brooks. Those guys can maybe do it because they have the same irreverence and just magic in their mind.
Yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
so what are your favorite moments or characters
What
in the
favorite
film?
scene?
Well, I love Mongo. Mongo is probably, Mongo only pawn in Game of Life kind of a thing. I love it. The whole Looney Tunes, yeah, the Candygram for Mongo.
Mongo. People still say that today, and I wonder if they know what they're talking about. You know, it's
Well, I
just
like
like the
that
big.
he comes in on a bull.
Oh yeah.
He comes in on a bull, and then it's got the yes on one side and the no on the other side. And then I recently found out what that means,
What
which
does
is
that mean?
it's you know how like big trucks, how you can only pass on the left, don't pass on the right, because
Oh
they're
yeah,
gonna.
yeah.
So that's what that's in reference to.
God,
Oh,
that's what he
that's-
referenced. I was like, why? There's a yes or
That's
no on their
crazy.
app.
I know. I wondered that for like years. So like, yeah, I finally found it out. Somebody said something about it. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, the image of him riding on a bull is crazy. And they knocks out the horse, and he's like, "You can't park that animal there." And he's like,
Oh, there and it walks him.
Oh, that was so good. Oh, that was so
in the 80s
funny.
and 90s, and so that character is George Papadopoulos to me. He's Webster's father on the Webster show. And that's how I remember seeing him growing up. I'm like, oh my god, that's George Papadopoulos.
Yeah. Well, and I love Madeline Kahn.
She's great.
She's
Well, and Mel Brooks works with a lot of the same people in all his
Totally.
movies. So he's been in a bunch of his
Like an
different
improv
movies.
group.
But
It's like they're
Yeah.
a theater improv group, you know?
yeah, well, and I think a lot of them actually did kind of start off. If you watch like old videos, they do a lot of improv stuff. Like, oh God, what's his name? The gay director in the
Dom.
Dom DeLuise. Thank you. I totally. But like they did a lot of stuff, and even if you watch like some old stuff with Johnny Carson, they go on and they do these shows, and they're masters of improv.
Yeah, they're masters, and they seem like a crew of like old Hollywood that just did a lot of bits and funny stuff,
Yeah.
and crazy things, and then they let me do it all in a movie at one time.
Yeah. Seriously, that movie it's a lot. It's a lot to take in. I think it's one of those ones you have to watch it multiple times because you're going to catch things, and
But I just wonder how the studio looks at it, like no one says no. Like, nah, go ahead, you can do it. Sure, go ahead and do that.
I mean, the best thing about Mel Brooks is, yes, there is slapstick, but there is a lot of intelligence and stuff behind a lot of that humor too. That you really have to pay attention to some of the jokes.
You have to, and it's amazing to think that this came out in 1974 and still poignant.
Absolutely.
50 years later.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, like when someone hasn't seen it, I'm like, what? You haven't seen it? Oh, wait, hold on. Sit down. Like,
right.
This is something. Let me school you. Yeah, no.
It's crazy. Looking at the poster is like epic. If you look at the poster, it's just like the black shirt with the Jewish Native American chief.
Yeah, he's not Hebrew actually on like the brow of the headdress. It's actual Hebrew if you actually look at the poster.
There's so many weird details in this movie. It's crazy.
Yes.
Someone says stupid humor, but also intelligent humor. Denise said that. Yes, you're right. You're correct. Well, Hannah, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you guys so much. Oh, I was so excited to have you guys do this. Thank you.
We're doing Ghosts next week, so I hope you have a good Valentine's Day if you're back around.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Ghosts with us.
Thank you. Happy Valentine's Day. And hopefully I'll see it. Okay.
Absolutely. Bye.
Bye.
That was so nice.
So great.
She was texting me in the last minute. She was like, please, can I be?
She was great. We have so many great people join us this week. Thank you so much.
I know.
Hannah,
what
Denise,
a nice conversation.
And Paolo and Nico.
Everyone. I learned a lot this week.
I know so many intelligent people talking. I see the chats blowing up here talking about Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle's definitely carrying the torch. Shout out to Dave Chappelle. He's
my favorite comedian
I love Dave Chappelle,
in the world.
So amazing.
Dave Chappelle is.
Dave Chappelle's in Robin Hood Men in Tights. I did not know that, Denise. That's
really?
That's wild. It's a good piece of trivia.
Robin Hood Men too. Oh wow.
And so that was a great movie. I loved it.
I loved it. I love the jokes. I love the movie. I love the quirkiness. I love the stupidness. I love the stupid things we do as a human. And at the same time, it's educational. So you laugh at it. At the same time, you learn.
So, thank you for
so
joining us
relaxing.
on Monday
I love
Cinema
movies
Club.
like that, like entertaining and relaxing, and you can learn stuff.
So
I sound like a little.
You sound like a school teacher now. Check it out. Next week is Valentine's Day, the day after Valentine's Day. So I hope everyone out there has a great Valentine's Day. And we're doing a super romantic movie next week.
Ghost.
And it is it's it's a classic. It's a classic.
Super classic.
So let's watch Ghost this week. Have a great Valentine's Day. Can't wait to talk about it with all you guys next week. I have not seen this movie easily 10 plus years.
10 plus, yeah.
10 plus years, maybe longer.
I don't watch this film.
You've never watched it?
I watched it. I remember I watched it in school, but somehow it falls asleep in my class.
What the?
I fall asleep in the class. It happens, okay? You fall asleep in the class, during the class, film class.
We got to roll. Our hour's up. Thanks for joining this week.
Thank you for joining, and thank you for
what?
For coming and then talk to us in Monday Cinema Club. And then there is a mosquito. I need to kill this.
All right. See you guys next week. Have a good week. Bye.
Bye.